How's it going? Jacob here. Instead of working in the shop today, we are actually at my dad's house working on his 1966 Mustang Fastback, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix damaged threads. So this is my dad's Mustang. It's a 1966 Fastback, and this is kind of the vehicle that got me into this entire hobby and what has now become my whole career. So this was my dad's first car in high school that him and his father restored. And then now that I am doing engine work, obviously I sold him into one of our Smeding crate motors. Although his got a couple different things. Technically it's a 374 cubic inch 8.2 deck build. Has a Dart SHP engine block with a 4.185 bore. It runs our Smeding 3.4 stroke forged crankshaft, fully internal balance, along with our Smeding 5.4 inch connecting rod. Motor has about 11:1 compression. It has a micro 0.9.9, I think 2.0, maybe a 3.0 ring pack. Anyways, nice heads, nice intake, decent cam. It made 606 horsepower on pump gas and I think 530 something foot-pounds of torque. But anyways, we had the water pump gasket had a little leak down here. And then while it was going back together, these aluminum timing covers are really soft metal and they do strip really easy. It happens to us sometimes in the shop. And this bolt ended up stripping on me. But it's a good opportunity now for me to show you guys how to correctly put a HeliCoil into a bolt while still in the engine bay, and you can save that timing cover, not have to drop the oil pan, pull the timing cover off, get a new cover, and have a big headache and hassle. A HeliCoil is this little guy right here. And basically we're going to drill the timing cover a little bit larger, tap it, this HeliCoil will screw into the timing cover, giving us brand new steel threads to thread our water pump bolts into. These HeliCoil kits you can get at any local parts store. They'll have everything you need to install them. The taps are special HeliCoil taps. They're not your standard taps at all because we have outer threads and inner threads that matter, I guess. So step one is we're going to drill it a little bit bigger with this drill bit so that we can tap it to then screw the HeliCoil into the timing cover. And these HeliCoil taps, if you don't have a complete kit, if you zoom in, if you look at them closely, very top it says HeliCoil 5/16 by 18 thread pitch, and it tells you use drill 21/64. And this is for a 5/16 course HeliCoil. Obviously 3/8, quarter inch, 7/16, they're all going to be different configs, but for this system we're going to use a 21/64 drill bit to start. So first, whenever you're drilling anything, whether it's cast iron, steel, or aluminum, you should always have a lubricant on the threads. Currently, there's leftover anti-seize from when I first put this thing together. So we're just going to go for it dry to start. And when drilling, you want to take it slow and don't apply a lot of pressure because you're drilling into threads. So it's not like you're starting a brand new hole in a solid piece of material. The drill bit's going to want to catch those threads and it's going to kind of yank it out of your hands a little bit. And then obviously you want to make sure you're straight and not going off at a crazy angle or anything silly. So we'll just start here, kind of slowly bump it through. Just like that. Now that our hole is drilled, we're going to take our tap with a little bit of lubricant on its threads and go ahead and tap the hole that we have now made. Again, making sure to stay super aligned and straight. You don't want to be crooked because then your bolt will be crooked and it'll just create more issues down the road. Does it only come up a little bit? Better? Whenever you're tapping, if you feel the tap get super tight on you out of nowhere, just back it off counterclockwise and start over. we're just tapping aluminum, so it's super soft. And so I'm just gonna go straight through it. These taps are made out of usually carbide. These taps are usually made out of high-speed steel, but some of them can be made of carbide. But even the high-speed steel ones, their hardening process is a little bit different than like a drill bit. And so they're incredibly sharp and hard on the surface, but they're also super brittle. So they can break somewhat easily if you're not being too careful. And then trying to get a broken tap out of a hole that already had broken threads is an absolute nightmare. Now that our threads are made, you can take your HeliCoil. It'll have a tang on one side, and that tang will catch on this little installer guy. So you just simply thread these together like that. And now you can take the tap out of your T-handle, tighten this guy in, and I like to put a drop of Loctite on the threads just to secure the HeliCoil in place, and then we can install it into our new formed threads. The bolt that we're repairing only torques to about 15 foot-pounds, and it's not a majorly stressed fastener, so I'm just going to do a couple drops of blue Loctite. If it was something that was seriously stressed, I might upgrade to red, but for this guy, blue is just fine. And now we'll just screw this into our new threaded area, threaded hole. It should go right in. And I like to put the tang just a little bit below the surface. Or at least, I'm sorry, not the tang, but the end of the HeliCoil. Once you have it in place, you can just back out your T-handle, and your HeliCoil is now into your part, and threads are almost fully repaired. All we have to do next is just knock off the tang, so that way a bolt doesn't go too far, and then hit that tang, and then it might pull the HeliCoil out. And if you look closely, they've already cut a little break point in that last coil so that you can just nap it with a punch and it'll break cleanly off. So I'm just going to use a flathead for this one. So let me see where that tang is located. Right there. And we'll just give it a good rasp. Just like that. I heard it fall out and hit the floor. And so those threads are fully repaired and ready to go back into service. So I talked about the motor, but let me go through the rest of the car really quick. Actually, one thing I did forget to mention is it is running an EFI system so that we don't have any of the, the gasoline smell in the garage. But in the interior, just a super simple restoration. Wow, just a super simple restoration. It's all mechanical, all manual, and it has a T5 transmission 5-speed with a G-force gear set in it to handle the 600 horsepower that this engine makes. And we did that route so we didn't have to modify the tunnel a whole bunch. It was the T5 is a bolt-in for these cars. Moving back, it does have an 8.8 rear end in it with some nice Moser axles. It's got discs in the rear. I think it has 410 gears still. Yeah, so it still has 410 gears. And for a car that weighs 2,700 pounds, 606 horsepower definitely does something cool. Thank you for watching. This was a nice little quick video for me to film for you guys, and I'll see y'all next time.